I just want to know if you can see the gift tags within this Hello, I Love You stamp set. Hi, it's Therese and I'm here for Ellen Hutson today, and I'm going to be sharing some fun projects made with the Essential Hearts set. But first I'm going to use that same stamp set to create a shaped card. So the Essential sets, or the nesting sets from Ellen Hutson, you get 2 packets of dies, so really good combination for coordinating. This largest heart die fits perfectly on an A2 card, and that gave me an idea to create a shaped card. But I want to get a 2-for-1 here, so what I've done is cut my base card at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's some ballet slipper from Concord and Ninth. When I'm making a shaped card and I've cut out of cardstock that isn't 110 pound weight, I like to add a little bit of support with a second piece of cardstock. So this is some 80 pound Nina that I'm adhering directly to the die cut heart. And then to create the back of the card itself, I actually use the 110 pound Nina, so something that's going to stand up nice and strong. So I have basically die cut this heart 3 times. To make sure that my card is going to stand up, I do actually score a line using my score tool, but you could use a bone folder and a ruler for this. And then I also line that score line up on my trimmer and just trim off the very bottom portion of the back of the card. This is going to allow the card to stand up, but you could do this with a pair of scissors, which you'll see a little bit later on as well. I do also like to use a really strong adhesive when I'm joining the 2 together. So here I've got some double-sided tape, and I did come in with some liquid glue just to make sure that it sits really nicely together. And then I can just adhere the 2 portions together, and I've got a shaped card. The possibilities are incredible because you can actually do this with so many different shapes, and I'm going to show you a wicked one. It's just really fun right near the end. But yes, it's so cute. This would make an awesome little gift tag as well. So now we're going to add the little image from the Hello, I Love You set. And I'm just going to do some really simple Copic colouring here. I stamped it in some tuxedo black. I'm not going to show you all the colouring today, but I thought I'd just show you a little bit. Seriously, such easy colouring. Anyone could do this. And if you don't have alcohol markers, it would look just as amazing coloured in pencils, and it would even look really nice just as line art, which means there's no colouring at all. So if you really wanted to smash out a heap of these for Valentine's Day, you could do that really simply, especially if you have the coordinating dies. So if you want to know exactly what products I've used today, I will link them in the description below. But if you head to the blog post, you'll also see lots more pictures as well as an exact list of everything that I've used. So it's time now to assemble my shaped card. I've cut some poppy cardstock with one of the smaller hearts, and you may have noticed that these nesting dies actually, when they cut out, have a fine border that cuts out as well, and this gives you so many options. It's one of the unique things about the Essential nesting dies from Ellen Hutson, and it really makes them that little bit special. So I did die cut some white cardstock to add a border to my heart, and used the coordinating dies and stamped out a sentiment as well, and popped the little girl holding that massive, huge Valentines envelope and the sentiment to the front of my shaped card. How cute is this? And like I said, this would make an awesome gift tag as well. Just punch a little hole in the top left hand corner and add a bit of twine. So now it's time to use the leftover die cut panel. Like I said, this is a 2-for-1. I'm not wasting any cardstock here. I've attached it to the front of a side fold A2 card and adding another poppy die cut heart. This time I'm leaving a negative space for that fine border. And I want to add a huge sentiment to this one. So I've used the Big Love die set, and to stamp the sentiment directly onto a couple of the letters, I'm using the Misty Sticky Mat, and also the acetate sheet that comes on top of it, because that's going to help me line up where the sentiment's going to be. I stamped it once on that to make sure that it was okay, removed the acetate, and then actually stamped on the letter itself. So I had a little look at the letters themselves and decided to do the sentiment, live the life you love. And I'm going to actually have a little bit of fun with this because I did need to change only one of the letters. One of the E's I made into an F, and that was really simple to do. You could do that with a pair of scissors. I did the same thing where I want to pop these letters up, so I did double them up with some 80-pound Nina and adhered them together with some liquid glue. But it's nice to be able to look at your dies and change how they are meant to be. It does give you lots of opportunities. And for the O in the word love, I decided to replace it with a heart from the Essential Hearts set. I also grabbed one of the sweet little mice from the heart eyes and coloured her with some Copics and die cut her out with the coordinating dies, and then just popped her down on the lowest portion of the sentiment. You could actually sit her over the heart if you want. That would be really sweet. Or if you didn't want to add her, there's actually a little boy mouse that would look amazing on this card too if you wanted to make this card for a gentleman. So now the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to be making 2 gift tags using the boy and the girl holding the big envelope. Yes, this can be done. I know they're small, but it works really well, especially if you have a coordinating die. I don't want to actually stamp out this sentiment in the middle of the boy's envelope, so I've just created a mask with some masking magic, and then I can actually stamp over the whole image and remove the mask. So that way when I stamp this image out with the tuxedo black, ready to colour with my Copics, that portion of the stamp isn't going to make it onto the cardstock. And the reason that I did this was because I wanted to add a couple of the Essential Hearts onto the front of the envelope instead, and the small one that I wanted to use could be seen, the sentiment on that envelope could be seen, and I didn't want that. So I did some really simple colouring yet again, and like I said, this would look pretty cool just stamped as line art. So if you're rushed for time, that would be a really good option. Especially you could add coloured hearts to suit your projects or your packaging or your little Valentine's gift, whatever. And I'm using the same process that I did before. I'm actually adding a little bit of cardstock behind the front of my little gift tag cards, and you could actually leave it at that point. You could write on the back of that and add a little punched hole on the envelope and some twine to attach it to a project and put the person's name on the back of it. But I wanted to make it into a little card, so I did the score line again, and this time I want to actually add a sentiment on the inside of this tiny little gift card. So I'm using the Valentine vibes and just using a portion of this huge sentiment, which actually cuts multiple sentiments at once if you have the coordinating die. And I'm using the sticky mat yet again. I've added the stamped XOXO onto the acetate sheet so I can actually line up the back of my card. And then I have a small memento tuxedo cube here that I'm stamping out the sentiment with, but you could easily just mask the words around it to get just the section or the word that you want to add to the inside of your card. How cool is that? I did also add a heart, which is from the Big Love set, and used some, what was that? It was the Samba Catherine Paula ink, and I used a block just to freehand stamp that, but you could use the Misty if you weren't game to hand stamp it, but you could always do it all again if you had to. And I used liquid glue to join the back and the front of my little gift tag shaped cards together, because I know that it's nice and strong and it's going to hold. But if you don't have the coordinating die, another great idea would be actually stamp the image onto one of the heart die cuts directly, or stamp it onto a circle, or cut it into a little rectangle, or even a gift tag shaped die. You have so many options. Now I did forget to use my trimmer to cut the back of the card straight so that it will stand, so I had to come in with my scissors to do that. And obviously these aren't going to stand perfectly, but how cute is that? If you want, you could add some tape to the back of these gift tags and adhere them directly to a present, or add a little punched hole and some twine. So here's all my projects together. I do hope you've had a lot of fun seeing how we can stretch these essential hearts dies. Doing a 2-for-1 with the shaped card and an A2 card and our 2 really quirky shaped gift tag cards. If you were inspired by today's projects, don't forget to click the like button. And if you haven't joined our community yet, click on the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos and tutorials coming up. I have put the link for this post in the description below. I look forward to seeing you there. Till next time, bye.